lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out to Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeranism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Life is Short, Matt, Michael, Nyby, Paige Love, Tar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally Ballis, Sam Hine, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker, and Tom Herkins. Massive appreciation to all of you who support me on Patreon. Now, we are currently joined by a whole bunch of people on both Discord and G+, so I'm going to raise the mic on them while I set up for the next live show over on my second channel, Nathan Oakley. Obviously, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, which you are, check out Nathan Oakley, my second channel, as that has typically got the Uncut and After Show on, so be here or be sphere on the Nathan Oakley channel for live shows on a Thursday and Friday, and the Uncut and After Show Monday to Friday. So yeah, I'll raise the mic on the G+ anyway, and you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever the hell is in there.
Version of the scientific message you disagree with. And he said, well, none of it. I think it's accurate. It's just, from what I remember, he was like, it's maybe a little too restrictive. It's too narrow. But other than that, they agree with the method.
Well, his main point is that there's more than one scientific method.
Well, yeah, but he's literally said there could be as many scientific methods as there are people. One of these idiots said that. I think it was him.
Well, I've wondered when they say that, I wonder if they're getting it kind of mixed up. Like, for instance, the method itself is sound, but how I do an experiment could be very vast. How can I prove my hypothesis? Is the method by which you prove it could be very open, and how you go about it.
Yeah, that's why they put the word systematic in there. Systematic experimentation.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by a whole bunch of people in G+, who I'll introduce now. So we've got Sleeping Warrior, Paul, Quantum Eraser, Flatsoid, Chocolate Saiyan, Arwin, and 10th Man. Very good to have you one and all.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
And as always, we've also got a whole bunch of people in Discord who are going to show their total enthusiasm right now. Hello, everyone in Discord.
G'day, man.
Hey, Darren. Any signs of Earth curvature? We're going to take this housekeeping particularly seriously, given that apparently there's fundies out there still punting their garbage globe Earth housekeeping, which was smashed to pieces. But yeah, it's rinse and repeat on their side. We've got these astonishingly good questions that have never been addressed in about 18 months. So I want everyone to give it their all. Any signs of Earth curve?
No. Ask, why does Bob the Fallacy Guy think that it's all right that he demands questions and answers from us, but he doesn't do it himself? So Bob the Fallacy Guy, why don't you dedicate a video and address the proof that's required to address the housekeeping points? Just do 3 of them. Say gravity, curvature, axial rotation. Looking forward to your evidence, Bob. Not rhetoric, not fallacy, actual evidence of Earth curve.
Just one will be fine.
Gravity.
No curvature from Utah.
Yep, South Africa still flat.
What about axial rotation? You mentioned that a moment ago, Anthony. So any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No point.
Not according to Spider-Man Dan.
Again, you mentioned this a moment ago, Anthony. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What's gravity?
A non-force force that gives rise to a force that's not a force, but you can think of as a force they call gravity. The conceptual medium being space-time. The bending of that conceptual medium gives rise to that non-force force that you can think of as a force, but not actually a force they call gravity. Simple.
Thanks for clearing that up.
What's space-time?
A conceptual medium that when bent, even though you can't bend concepts. Look, is there any scientific evidence?
For a long time, gravity does not exist.
I'm supposed to be taking this seriously. I don't want an endless highlighting of the complete nonsense that is the bending of a conceptual medium known as space-time. We all appreciate gravity's complete horseshit, but is there any scientific evidence of said horseshit or not?
No, scientists themselves say it doesn't exist.
It's not fair on the ballers if we're asking them to have evidence of gravity if we don't tell them what definition of gravity we expect of them. But then again, they're the ones with the definitions and the evidences. You guys are screwed so bad it's unreal. You can't even define it, let alone prove it.
Am I coming through okay?
Well, they're not screwed. If they have a problem with the definition, they could just call up one of their gurus like Vanek, who will gladly change the definitions for them.
Is Nathan's
mic working?
If it was real, they would have just been able to
we
support
hear
it.
Nathan.
Loud and clear, QE.
I think Nathan's restarting his computer.
Me? What's going on, man?
Can anybody hear Nathan?
Yes, you can all hear me. I know I can be heard. I can see my level dancing. I'm not going to be messed with. Right. Gravity is the bending of a conceptual medium. You can't bend concepts. A conceptual medium known as space-time. And the bending of that conceptual medium, you can't bend concepts, gives rise to a non-force force you can think of as a force, but isn't actually a force, called gravity.
So, a concept.
The bending of a concept.
How did you know I was going to ask you? How do you bend the concept, Nathan?
You can't bend freedom and you can't bend space-time. It's a concept.
Oh, and you can't manipulate time as well. That's a concept. You can't manipulate time as your independent variable. I know you ballers want to because you can find citations that support it.
Is that not a control?
Yes, you can, Doc Brown.
No, he's a conceptual medium as well. He doesn't really exist.
Every time QE talks about his computer that he's going to hopefully purchase soon so he can continue live streaming, he talks about the gigahertz, and all I hear is Doc Brown. That's all I hear.
Gigahertz.
I thought it was
Gigawatts.
just me.
I know it's gigawatts, but I realise, I understand the distinction between the two, but I'm just saying that's what I hear. I have a minimum 3.6 gigahertz.
I was thinking of Back to the Future the other day, and I'm like, wow, well, I guess Doc is supposed to be Einstein, right? Because I mean, his
No,
dog
the
was
dog's
named
Einstein. No. His dog's Einstein.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Doc. Look how he was molded, right? He looks like Einstein a little bit, with the white hair and all that. So maybe it was like kind of like that. Like Einstein fell off his toilet and came up with space time.
I agree with Chocolate. I reckon that was based on Einstein, hence the dog being called Einstein.
Yeah. And then that's how he came up with the flux capacitor, right? He fell off the toilet. So maybe that's how space-time came up. He fell off his toilet. It was like, oh, it's bending of space-time causes things to fall.
Look, if we're going to talk nonsense about Back to the Future, shouldn't we kick some non-talkers into the after show so that there's some space for fundies to come in and challenge us based on us talking about Back to the Future?
Contribute or disappear.
Say again.
It's not a free meal ticket, is it? Either contribute or Foxtrot Oscar.
Me.
Foxtrot Oscar, I like that.
I'm sure someone said to me, but I didn't hear anything from Discord. Maybe it was just rustling.
No, it was that Chocolate's mic.
Go on, Darren.
That's a very valid point. All the microphones are muted, and none of them seem to be contributing anything.
Just me, or is Discord like really shitty today?
Nah, I didn't hear any of that just now.
From myself and you are all on mute.
Myself and you are already on mute or something.
Everyone's on mute. So we can't hear them. I've got it turned right up, but just mutterings and mumblings, unfortunately, from Discord.
Any come on, we need some evidence for gravity or something. You got to give us something to have a conversation about, guys. Just preaching it doesn't mean it's true.
You could do it getting a bit closer to your mic as well, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm a bit far.
Did we conclude housekeeping? We didn't. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Just an 8-mile hole, Nathan, with a load of bad seismology predictions.
Right, should I do my QE bit because he's not in there and there's no mods in there by the looks. We've got no righteous force today. Who's this? Is it Noman? Say hello, or be booted to the after show. Going to talk garbage. We need to make room for fundies that will talk. I don't have to do this. How do I move them?
Right click them.
Right click them and then what?
Right click and then click move.
Move to. Here we go. After show. Bye. Right. Who's next? Slayer of Prey. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you get to stay. Right, next. Space Pope. Oh, is that a new dude that's just joined? Oh, he's just jumped straight back in. That's no good.
He's trolling you.
No, there's a gap. There's at least one gap. Who else we got? Dougie, say hello. Right, moved him to the after show as well. So there's a couple of spaces on Discord. Right, let's resume talking nonsense about Back to the Future.
Dougie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your world does hypnotize me.
So Doc Brown was sitting on the toilet, right? And that's when he came up with the gigawatts?
The flux capacitor.
Oh, the flux capacitor.
I think he slipped in the shower. I think that's what it was. He slipped in the shower.
Nah, it was the toilet. He was hanging a sign, I think, and on his toilet. I mean, I haven't seen it in years, but that's what I remember.
Well, maybe that's what they mean in academia, the seed of understanding.
Just try one more because we've had Chris join who can stay. The Sea Fry, say hello.
Hello. Is Anthony there?
Aye.
Just give me 1 sec. 1 sec.
Yeah, no worries.
You sound a lot better today, Chris. You sounded shit yesterday.
Oh, cool.
The truth.
So it was in Gem Panda's.
go ahead.
You know about Gem Panda's. What do you call it? The Sunday the roast, right? So just you're in a hangout, and just let me open the transcript. Not sure when the hangout was, but it says. So yesterday I had my first conversation that was detailed with a law firm, and this is transcript, so it's not completely accurate. First detailed conversation with a law firm, and they something about to take the case on yet because they want to look into it, but they want to know more, and then we are our first cards on the table thing, and basically that what the issue is the hardest point is to get across the lawyers that we're trying to say is that they can't prove their case. Like I said, the transcript's not completely accurate, but that's the gist of it. So, like I said, like actually yesterday, I heard you approach a law firm and you said no, but this is saying yesterday I had my first conversation that was detailed with a law firm. So what's that?
Do you want to check the date of the transcript in question? It's kind of important.
Right, I know it is, right. I assume that it's a recent hangout that you had because it was on James.
If you have it, check
hold
it.
on.
I'll ask Jeremy. Give me one
Hold
second.
on. Just no, don't assume. Just go and look. What's the date of the transcript?
It's got to be about 12 months ago.
No. All right, the transcript is from Jeremy's Flat Earth Sunday roast, which was on the 22nd of September, right? However, that's 5 days ago. However, it is from a hangout that Anthony was in that had Poncho Pete and Merrill and I'm not sure what's that guy's name? Fuck.
Ryan Mullen. How far back are you going, Chris? Come on. No, you need to know how old this was. This is at least 12 months old, Chris.
Jeremy's a frigging retard. I mean, come on, people. What are you talking about, Chris?
How dare you, sir?
Hold on. Look, basically, from what I gleaned so far on Gem Panda's show, they've played a video, which is why he's got it from the transcript that's only from a few days ago. So therefore, he can't tell you when the transcript that was played on that video 3 or 4 days ago, or whenever it may be, came from, because he doesn't have that information. Correct, Chris?
Currently, I do not have.
Fair enough. Just, are you happy to take it as read that is from 12 months ago? I know it is. I was involved in that process.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to. Haunted House was in it, right? Haunted House, Merrill, Poncho Pete, Anthony, and two other twats that I don't know.
Yeah,
the date is the key thing. That conversation is a long time ago, back in the days of FE Core.
No, because it's talking about your paper, right? It's like, what's the current state of your paper? That's what it was talking about.
You're mistaken. Go and find out the date for the transcript, Chris, and then come back to us.
Okay, I'm trying. It's just that if I leave here and go on to Gem server, I need to know I can get back in, right? So let me get me.
Yeah, you need a retard certification to get into gyms. That'd be easy for you.
Okay.
And while you're there, ask Gem if he knows what gravity is.
Well,
Gem doesn't. He couldn't tie his friggin' shoes.
Before he has on the hell out of Gem, we're still doing housekeeping. So, any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No.
Oh, Earth-shaped investigator's flashing. Is he not on? Oh, he's on server mute. Hey, Earth-shaped investigator, did you want to add something?
Someone was saying someone was saying they bounced radio waves or something off Venus.
I'm having deja vu.
To the sun. Oh, right. And how did they know that they were looking in the right time stamp for the reflections?
Yeah, something about radio waves off Venus, and then they calculated the sun. So that's a new claim that I've heard.
It's not new.
A new claim. Didn't we go over this yesterday?
Sort of. Yeah, yesterday it was the moon, today it's Venus. I covered it yesterday. I'm leaving the mic open for Anthony because this was his baby originally. He sat on this little gem for ages.
Yeah. So basically, they looked after about 6 minutes for the reflected ping from Venus, and they couldn't really find it. And it was only when Bob from JPL told them that it was there, that's when they got the scientific consensus that they'd seen it. But the problem is, nobody else agreed with them that they'd seen it. So the question becomes, well, how did they know that they were looking in the time period that was required for where the expected reflection was? And then you look at where they got that information from. And it turns out that it was based on applying Eratosthenes' sticks in the ground thing and Christine Huygens' assumption that the Venus was the same size as Earth. So if you assume that Venus was the same size as Earth and assume that the Earth's a sphere as per Eratosthenes, you're assuming two things. Well, what if they're not right? You're in a bit of a quagmire then, aren't you? Because you're assuming that the ping is going to be located after about 6 minutes. Well, it might be the ping might have been there, but at a completely different timestamp because of the assumptions that were made. So it's just it's complete nonsense, that claim.
Any
And
evidence?
you can't validate it.
Go on, sorry.
You can't validate it. I tried to get the actual evidence of the reflected ping, and basically I got stonewalled, even as an academic. So good luck for anybody trying to prove that information exists. Not information, evidence.
Oh, so when you had the access to the journals during your course, you still couldn't find it in the journals or whatnot?
No, I in the journals I found citations that referenced that they'd all claimed that they'd seen it, but the actual ping reflection data doesn't exist. Or if it does exist, then they just won't let you have it. So they can claim that it exists, and then that means it exists according to them. Well, try and find that proof that it actually does exist, and you just don't get it. In other words, if we talk about Casper the Friendly Ghost is always real.
Yeah. All right, yeah. That's thanks for explaining that. Yeah,
If we
Chris
talk about
says he's
Casper the
still
Friendly Ghost
muted.
is
Maybe
real and that he exists, that makes
is
it
back in
okay.
Hold on, Anthony. Go ahead, Earth-shaped investigator.
Thanks, Anthony, for clarifying that. And Chris is back now. He says his server muted, maybe.
Sorry,
Thank you. Yeah, so ask Jeremy. He's not sure when the hangout was. It could have been a few months ago, Anthony.
12 months ago. It was back in the FE core days.
All right. Fair enough. My mistake.
No worries, Chris.
Get back to this Eratosthenes sticks in the ground. There was no sticks in the ground with this friggin' clown. It was like wells, right? What story? What in the world, people?
The thing is that sticks in the ground thing, it seems to be reported numerous ways, depending on where you get the information from. Probably never even happened.
It was recreated quite substantially by Slice Barcane.
Slice Barcane
used 23 locations on Earth.
Hold on, QE. Go ahead, Chris.
It was recreated by Slice Barcane using 23 different locations on Earth.
Yeah, and they didn't try and did they?
Please.
Absolutely.
Is that an experiment?
No.
Okay, what was created? Did he dig wells?
Oops.
Hello, essay.
What?
Question is, what did he do well exactly?
The
did he
recreation
dig
of
wells?
You're saying Slice Barcane recreated something? Wait, could you go into that, Chris?
Hello, essay.
I'm trying to find.
Are you breaking up, maybe?
Yeah, Chris, you might need to drop and come back in or something.
So I
Just
put it
drop.
in the what fucked up again.
Oh,
You sound like you're in gravity, but in a well, Eratosthenes.
Right, so there is experimental proof of Earth's shape and sun's distance.
Experimental proof, you say?
Just let Chris get to the end of each statement. You're kind of cutting him off.
Right, okay. So the description says, these are the results of a group project which took place September equinox 2017 23rd September, I assume. Participants in 9 different countries conducted a simple scientific experiment similar to that of Eratosthenes over 2,000 years ago. This test is simple. Using the latitude of each participant as longitude will be either 180 degrees or 0 degrees. The sun's elevation angle was measured during solar noon. These angles were then placed across both a flat plane and a sphere to see which models the angles correspond to. I mean, you can have a look at it yourself. It's very well done.
Yeah, very well done. Okay, let's stop. Let's stop. What experiment was he doing? Number one was, did he dig what? Did these 20-some people dig wells?
No, they took the angle to the sun that they saw from their location using the longitude. They then plotted it on a flat plane and on a sphere to determine where it was. I mean, I'll just get to the crux of it to look at it here.
So you didn't answer my question. Did they dig wells?
No, they didn't need to dig wells.
Well, that's Eratosthenes' experiment. Okay, to the next issue. You said scientific experiment. Please, natural phenomena observed and the hypothesis.
Okay, they didn't need to dig wells because they didn't use 2 locations.
I passed the wells issue. We already identified they didn't need wells. Shut up. We need the natural phenomena observed and the hypothesis, please, because you said it was a scientific experiment.
I don't know what those things are. I can't speak to that.
Then don't bring it on this channel. If you can't support your claims, go to Jim Panda Retard's Birds Humping channel.
Chris, just before you do go there, Chris,
John, I'm not going to play your fucking perverted school of quantum arrays or science, right? I'm not going to play that game, John. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
Then don't claim it. Then don't claim it. Don't come in here claiming stuff where you can't back it up.
I don't know.
Don't claim it. Shut your pie hole and go to Jim
all the other independent variables that you want. Independent variable, John. I am saying Sparkane.
Thank you. That's my name. Independent variable, John. You got it right. Now go over to Jim Panda's channel. Okay? And you can charge your baseless assertions over there because they'll eat them up. They love it. They're retards. Go.
Before you do go, Chris, can you stay with me a sec? I want to present something to you. You still there, Chris?
Yes, man.
So you were referencing Sparkane, right? Nathan, would you mind presenting my screen?
Yeah, you are. You are.
So this is an actual
I'll
publication.
need to go into Nathan's. Wait, give me a sec to go.
Chris, you sounded like you're in dog poo again.
He said he wasn't watching the live stream.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Chris. I'll assume that you're watching the live stream, and I'll just carry on anyway. And then at the end of it, if you've not been watching it, then I'll just accept that you've just not watched it, and therefore you'll lose by default.
Wait, can you hear me? I'm on the live stream.
Okay, so this is a citation from the World Journal of Education, and it's the reproduction of Eratosthenes' 6 in the grounds experiments that you call an experiment. And in this document, they talk about how many countries were involved in doing or repeating the observation, which isn't really an experiment. And there were loads of them. There was all the maths that you could ever ask for, because obviously we know that maths proves things. And it talks about, I think there was something like 13. There we go. Our sample consisted of 2,000 students from 89 schools in 5 different countries, 355 kids from Egypt, 35 schools. Finland was 302 students, Greece 685, Poland 465, Serbia 382. I'm going to claim that this is more accurate or better in the context of the Eratosthenes experiment than Sparkane. And what I want to focus on is the conclusion that these guys came to. And one particular paragraph, here we go. In the paragraph number 4 discussion, it says, inquiry-based hands-on experiments in classrooms require simple constructs to satisfy a student's curiosity. The ancient Eratosthenes experiment provides an excellent inquiry-based, hands-on approach for today's students to conceptualize and solve an abstract problem that even contradicts everyday conceptions. We all know the Earth is round, although it appears flat. So if they're gonna have that presupposition that we all know that the Earth is round, not spherical, round, dartboards and pizzas are round, but anyway, even though it appears flat, is that a credible what's the word, prerequisite for an observation based such as Eratosthenes? Because we know that the maths works both ways. So if you're going to assume that the Earth's round and then apply maths to it based on a sphere Earth, then you're going to get the results that Eratosthenes got. What we're asking is, well, we know that the maths works both ways. How did Eratosthenes know that it was a sphere? Do you know how Eratosthenes knew it was a sphere, Chris? Or did he just assume that it was a sphere?
Anthony, I can't speak to it because I would have to have a look at the document that you're reading from. But right, so what was the?
Well, it was based on begging the question, affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy.
I don't care. What was the conclusion?
The conclusion was it matched, or it seemed to support the assertion made by what's her face, Eratosthenes. But we know we know that that's a bit of an issue. I've sent you a private message with the journal on it. Take as long as you want, and next time we catch up with each other, I'll ask you, can you tell me how it was that Eratosthenes knew that the Earth was a sphere?
Right. Okay. Now, I'm surprised that none of you have seen Slice Barkane's Eratosthenes style experiment. Now, he didn't have to dig wells, John.
It's not an experiment. It's not an experiment. How many times we got to tell you it's not an experiment?
Right, just interrupt me. Just continually.
It's not an experiment.
Begging the question form a logical fallacy.
Yep.
Oh, Arwen, super. That's great.
Just frustrating when it's already been taken apart in those terms. Keep reasserting it.
But Nathan,
he was on this show
because
he did his so-called. Hold on a second.
Oh my God, that's
show. Shut up. He came on this show before he did this so-called experiment. He didn't even know what a hypothesis was. We embarrassed him. It should have been the first toe tag. Shut your pie hole, you freaking clown. Head on over to Gem Pandas, birds humping natural experiments.
Did you hear any of that?
Right. So, Chris, isn't there okay? So it's interesting that yes, this can be repeated, but then the issue is still that the assumption it works. Yes, if the globe is a sphere, but it doesn't. I mean, if the world is a sphere, but it doesn't prove it in the first place. Then there's also the issues of parallel rays and all that, which on 24/7 as well, besides the bouncing stuff of Venus, they were also talking about parallel rays being assumed, but how do we prove that the sun's rays are actually parallel?
How do we prove that they're parallel? I think by definition.
It wouldn't matter anyway. It's not an experiment. Let's move on.
But your response to Chris, I just want to check if Chris actually heard, because you were detailing us actually scrutinizing Sly himself. Did you hear any of that bit, Chris?
I'm not sure.
No, he didn't hear it. He was over talking me as usual. Just
no,
another
you were
clown.
over talking.
You want me to paraphrase
so,
it?
Right, about the sun's rays being parallel.
Chris,
well, if indeed the sun is 93 million miles away, then yeah, the sun's rays are going to be parallel. And Slice Barkane's Eratosthenes style experiment,
It wasn't an experiment,
John.
We must have told you this 5-6 times now. You just keep on parroting this nonsense. It's not an experiment.
Consistent. Are you just going to continually interrupt me, John?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, John and Chris.
Okay.
Chris.
Have a nice day. See you later, you fucking
get over to Gem Pandas, you friggin' retard.
Okay. I was going to just try and explain to him. I tried to get nice, calm. Do you understand why? And he just ignored me and started talking about whether or not the rays are parallel as an address to Earth-Shaped Investigator, I quite explicitly said to him, do you understand what has been detailed in terms of us scrutinising Sly? There was a short pause, and they completely ignored it and then played Martyr and buggered off.
Exactly.
So he rumpused QE when he was explaining that Sly Sparkane has been here, and he has presented what he has called experiments. And our first question to him, what is the hypothesis? The main problem being, Sly didn't even know what a hypothesis was.
Plus, one of their favorite priests, Mr. Smoke Grass Tyson, has said himself that Eratosthenes' experiments observation doesn't really prove anything because it could be replicated on a flat model. So, yeah.
The actual fallacy, just to draw a close to Chris's point, although I was hoping it was a bit more organic than me just chopping the head off this argument, but there we go. He's buggered off now, so tough luck. It's a false dichotomy reification fallacy. So what he's presenting is a model, reification fallacy, of a globe versus a model, reification fallacy, of a flat plane, presented presumably on an azimuthal equidistant globe projection. Nevertheless, that's the false dichotomy and reification fallacy that's being presented in this regard when making comparisons of celestial objects. They have no idea what they are, and in the case of the globe side of that false dichotomy, they'll reify the R value into existence when they make the measurements, forcing the sun's distance to be 93 million miles, as Chris asserted. He said, assuming the sun is 93 million miles. Well, he gets that distance by using an R value that they'll assert and reify in their globe model when they make their measurements. So in R they trust. This is simply a false dichotomy and reification fallacy times 2.
Yeah, I have that Sly Sparkane interview. I'm going to be running that on my channel here over the next few weeks. So can't wait.
And just in case Chris didn't quite catch it, how did Eratosthenes, the guy that we can't even prove exist, how did Eratosthenes know that it was a sphere to apply spherical maths to? That's the question.
Well, the original assumption comes from Aristarchus. Aristarchus, using shadows across the moon, assumed that those shadows were caused by spherical objects with their paths being blocked, therefore assuming Earth's sphericity. From there on in, you have the assumption of Earth's sphericity when you're trying to calculate things like the circumference and then a presupposed spherical radius. That's how the narrative goes. I personally think the whole lot is bullshit. In other words, they've just made them up. I mean, they might have existed as people, but the stories that go along with them, I just think the whole lot's made up. But that's just my opinion. Feel free to criticise me. I don't care.
I agree.
Can I circle back to before the show started on the multiple, like the scientific method is too narrow. I got the definition of truth up here on screen. This is the quality or state of being true, that which is true in accordance with fact or reality. Now, here's a problem when they say that the scientific method is too restrictive. Well, and I've also read that science isn't concerned with truth. Well, if that's the case, if they're not concerned with truth, then they're not really concerned with about facts or reality. Okay, first of all, right off the bat. And truth by its very nature is restrictive. You can't have something true and false at the same time. So right off the bat, it's that, the thing that 10th Man likes to say is the law of non-contradiction. So when you say things are too restrictive, then you're really not concerned about truth or reality or fact or reality when you say that. So, I mean, it's empirical if it's true. If it's not empirical, then it could be a guessing game. It could be whatever you think it is. Then it's not truly a fact or reality. Sorry, Lily's screaming now. So, but comments, queries?
Hey, none.
Isn't it? So, Paul, isn't it really, really weird that flat earthers are the ones that are bringing science to the table, and then the globers are the one that say, well, no, science is not really about that, and you can't be so serious about science. So who is more concerned about science, the globalists or the flat earthers?
Well, the flat earthers.
If we're going to be serious about science, and then now they're sort of starting to, waver on that and say, oh, no, don't be so serious about science. That's very odd, isn't it?
No, because when they say science, they mean pseudoscience, because they don't have any science. That's what we're pointing out. So you're right, that's where the line in the sand's drawn. What they have to argue and defend is actually pseudoscience. Now, because it's pseudoscience, unfortunately, we have to deal with the unfortunate problem of them claiming that they're science and having to unpick that little bit of bullshit before you get into the reality of they're just so stories, claimed to be science, in actuality pseudoscience. All we're doing is holding them to their own standards. In other words, if they hadn't asserted any of this as science in the first instance, we wouldn't be saying, give us a hypothesis, because there wouldn't be any angle for us to ask for that. It's only because they're asserting themselves as science that we're undoing their arguments. So yeah, that is the line, that is very much the battlefront that we face ourselves on right now. We want science, they say they've got it, and they haven't. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, they say
you want to really annoy them. Just ask them what their independent variable is. Apparently, they don't like that question.
Yeah.
No, just stop at observe natural phenomena. They don't even know what a natural phenomena is.
It's
a shoe.
Shoe. What's the hypothesis? It's a shoe.
That's just got to be the best ever point.
I think Simon Dan gave you a hypothesis yesterday from the chat. He said something like, I'll give you a hypothesis, you're a very nasty man, or something like that.
Sci-fi scam.
Sciences either.
Sci-fi scam. What he's another clown. We're surrounded by clowns.
Yeah.
Dunning-Kruger, these are clinical level Dunning-Kruger pretender clowns that parrot Wiki and Discovery Channel. That's all they do. Every single last one of them. Some can barely read. All I get is sentence fragments. It's a joke.
I see him, Simon Dan, specifically. It's quite a sad reflection on society. So, he's the biggest out of all of us, right? I have no idea how big he is, but last time I ever saw a YouTube video from Simon Dan, he had in excess of 100,000 subscribers, and I'm almost certain now he's beyond that. You know, he's fully YouTube verified. YouTube have put their stamp of approval next to that man. And what's he got to offer, as you say, parroting Discovery and Wiki?
213,000 viewers he's got now.
213,000 subscribers. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's by far and away the biggest person in this arena. What I also find interesting is YouTube guidelines now say words in their disclaimers or whatever they are, their press releases about not being able to talk about flat earth, and they specifically mention it. But it seems Simon Dan, who is absolutely all fully tagged and titled up with flat earth, he's got the little tick next to his name. So in reality, it's not that you can't talk about flat earth, you just can't talk about it positively.
Well, maybe if you get a tractor and a trampoline and have 7 of your panel members jumping up and down, you might get to 100,000.
I mean, that's just an example.
Oh, make sure it's going in a circle too, by the way.
Well, no, that's just an example of his stupidity. So he's obviously coming in the tail end of the argument on Coriolis, and his comprehension level hasn't quite caught up. And what he's hearing is them arguing for Earth and atmosphere travelling as one, or the retention of angular velocity. And he's gone, here you go. Look, you can have them travelling as one. It's like, wow, clearly you didn't listen to the first part of the argument where we're pointing out that you're supposed to have a deviation. You've just listened to the end of the argument where they're justifying why you haven't got one and showing an example of how you can not have one. Like aeroplanes have got boards and guys sat in front of them as they travel through the air. Yeah, there's great big boards in front of all these aeroplanes that are supposed to have Coriolis deviation, but don't! The whole bloody point of the argument. So he's come in at the tail end and gone, here you go, here's an example of no Coriolis deviation to prove Earth spins. Like, wow, what bonehead. That's just him showing up how stupid he is. To the point where some of the panel members yesterday said, "Oh, he's just trolling you." It's like, no, he is actually that stupid. But that's what YouTube want. That was my main point. That's what they want. That's the person that will get promoted. Doesn't matter if he's got Flat Earth in the titles and tags of his videos or not. He's talking about Flat Earth the way they want it talked about, and wiki parroting, which is precisely what they want. They want people to be conformist morons. He's the poster child for conformist morons. Isn't that a sad reflection on society? That was my point.
Can someone remind me what was the conclusion of the point with Alan yesterday when I asked him about DNA and the coding? Did we get closure on the point? Because I can't remember what the closure of the point was.
He's getting an MRI right now.
A lobotomy.
No, MRI is a scan. What that came out of nowhere. I don't understand. Maybe I tuned out for just a couple of seconds and now I've lost context. What? Who's getting an MRI? What?
Alan's getting an MRI. He was talking about MRI brain scans. What if we go into the hospital and get an MRI of something other than the brain? You friggin' ambiguous knuckleheads. They just... This is a joke, folks. Joke.
Well, here's the thing about... Here's the thing about that. I actually thought about that after the fact. And to know what the brain pattern is, the person getting the MRI has to tell the person observing the monitor what he's thinking about. And then he puts so the researcher, or the person observing the monitor has to say, well, this pattern means this. Do you see where this is going?
Oh, he's back.
He's
back from his MRI, Paul.
Hey,
just
Alan.
come back.
Is that who you're talking about? We were talking about your ears are obviously burning.
My ears were indeed burning, Nathan. How are you this fair day?
Me? I'm very well. How are you?
Good. I'm great. It's Friday.
Did you figure out where something can come from nothing yet?
Yeah.
Go on.
Nah.
I would like to talk about your MRI, Alan, though. That would be nice to talk about for a second.
That was the Paul Voigt defense. Yeah, I know. I've got the answers. I'm just not going to tell you.
The Paul Voigt defense.
That's right.
Where is he these days?
He's still looking for a molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth, as far as I'm aware.
God bless him.
I'm sure it was Paul Voigt that said on a clear enough day with a powerful... Oh, no. He was the one that gave the maths. On a clear enough day with a powerful enough zoom and a bit of Paul's maths, you can see your own ass in a telescope. It's one of the best shows ever.
You got to toe tag that one.
It was brilliant, that one.
Alan was one of the people that agreed with that at the time.
Did you, Alan?
That's a free colonoscopy.
Do you not think he was joking there, Tony?
No, we know he wasn't.
Rumpus followed it up a few weeks later with the same point, and he agreed. You could see your own ass in the telescope.
Yeah, I've heard Rumpus say that, definitely.
Nathan, do you remember Rumpus saying that a few weeks later? Nathan. Can't get the stuff.
He got struck by a bit of Paul's math.
How's the Globe Light tour doing?
They've arrived in Amsterdam, and they're putting the last of the stickers on the vehicle as we speak. Getting updates on Skype.
Is Arwen driving to Poland?
I don't know. I heard that he's not.
Whoa, is he giving the money back?
No.
No, that's not right. He offered it.
Arwen said he's going.
I'm not sure if he is going or not. He said that he suffers with anxiety attacks.
Arwen said he's definitely going. He's just nervous, which I understand. Some people get nervous when they travel, and he's about to do a whole lot of fucking traveling, so I get it. All right, but he's definitely doing it.
He hasn't
Well,
traveled in like
said.
15 years or something. So yeah, it's a big step for him, I think.
He's 40 years old.
Hey, get off of Arwen. Let's
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the big globe lie. It's a sphere,
Shit,
but it's
yeah,
observably
exactly.
flat.
It's the
How can a
biggest sphere.
how can a sphere be observably flat?
Hang
Scale.
on. Let's go with it's flat, but you can think of it as a sphere.
No, he said scale, but we know the scale. 8 inches per mile square is your math, and we don't see that ever vetting out.
Got a
Just
point.
So there's your scale.
You just need to get up higher, Mr. Tenth.
How high? Because we can't get to 120,000 feet.
How high would that be, Alan?
So that you can see the curve. As high as you want.
I
Really?
don't
High as I
understand.
want?
Just want to.
I don't
Really?
understand.
You don't have an
Hold on,
established.
Just 1 second, chocolate. Just 10th man and Alan, just so it's not totally convoluted.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny now. It's funny now we have to get higher, whereas back then, oh, that boat disappeared. It went over the curve. Once the telescope figured that was not true, now we got to go higher.
The
What's
telescope
next?
figured that was not true. How's that?
Oh, you haven't seen the multitude of YouTube videos of a P900 and other telescopic objects
You
that.
buffoon. It's not
Oh,
over
really?
it's not over the curve. You can't bring things back from over the curve.
Thank you.
There is no curve.
Thank you.
Crying out loud.
You just proved it right there, Alan.
No, you just don't understand basic maths and what you're singing.
You just don't understand. There you go.
You just
That's
said.
the fallback.
You just said the
No,
curve.
Hold on, 10th man. Hold on.
Ignorant to your Bronze
Hold
Age
on.
book.
Just tell us, Alan, what are we working out and what we're looking at and what don't we understand?
Just watch one of Ranty's videos. He films things going over the horizon all the time.
Over the horizon. That's
Yeah.
a not actual position. That's not a location to go over.
You know what I mean?
No,
Whether-
I don't.
where the sky meets the earth or the ocean.
Well, so what you're saying that boats go over an arbitrary position where it appears the sky meets the ground? That's meaningless. So you've just said go to Ranty's videos and watch him show boats go over the curve, and then when
it's proved that. Yeah.
when
yeah,
pushed
go watch him.
it must be time to rumpus the conclusion of your demolition here, eh? You want to get your interruptions out, son? Go on.
I'm just being nice.
So get your interruptions out. I'll continue demolishing your bullshit point when you've finished interrupting me.
Okay, then go ahead, Nathan.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I really need your permission. That's really kind. So boats don't go over a not actual position then? Boom!
Boats don't go over not actual position.
Yeah, that's correct. You repeat my statement that demolishes your horse shit that you can go and watch boats go over a curve. My bad. A not actual position, otherwise known as the horizon. So yes, to clarify before you interrupt me again, Fundy. Yeah, boats don't go over a not actual position, as you've just concisely repeated.
That sounds like a sentence.
Yeah, say it again. Say it again. Not actual position. That's
Not
correct.
actual position.
Yeah. Keep saying it, Fundy. Boats aren't going over a curve. That's you reifying mathematics into an arbitrary position where the sky appears, not actually, appears to meet the ground. It doesn't actually meet the ground, dipshit. That's why I keep saying not actual. And you keep repeating it like that's somehow incomprehensible to your Fundy brain. Yet not actual positions aren't something boats can go over. Fourth time I've said it. Is it comprehending, essay?
So you don't think there's a geometric horizon?
Geometric horizon, it's a not actual position. What are you going to do? Measure a not actual position and give me the maths for not actual locations? No. What's so funny, Fundy? Boats don't go over not actual positions. What part of this isn't sinking in?
Wait, Alan. Do you think that the horizon is an actual position? Like it's an actual place I can get to?
What is the horizon?
Do you think it can be plotted?
What, a not actual position?
I'm asking you. Do you think that I can look at a horizon and say, all right, I'm going there and get there? Do you think that's possible?
Do you think?
Really?
Yeah.
So then when I get to wherever you think I'm going, wouldn't there be another horizon? from that location?
You know, Ron.
Yeah. Hold on. He said, do you think it can't be plotted? Share his screen. Go ahead and plot the horizon for us, you knucklehead, right now.
Angry John on cue.
Not Angry John. Moron Globehead.
Not really, Nick.
Yeah, totally. Moron Globehead who thinks that a not actual position is something boats can go over. Boats don't go over not actual positions that you think you can plot. So he's asked you to share your screen and show us you plotting not actual positions, you fundy moron. Yeah? So, not Angry John, Retard Alan.
Ad hominem?
No, demonstrably retarded. Retard means to hold back. Mentally, in this instance, you think you can plot a not actual location demonstrating your mental retardation. Not an ad hominem, a demonstration of your retardation, Fundy. You don't have to like it. You are, by definition, and by example, retarded.
Hit that super cash. Nathan's getting angry.
Not getting angry. Demonstrating you are retarded. Not an ad hominem attack. An eloquent and calm demonstration of a Fundy retard. That would be you.
Well, you don't believe in R, do you?
Believe in R? Where do you think you're going to plot your reified sphere edge from a not actual position, Dumbo? Do you think you're going to use R in that? And you're telling me I don't believe in that which you've specifically reified from a not actual position using that very R value, dumb fuck? Laugh it up, you stupid twat. You will be using R to reify that not actual location you're chuckling about into an edge you measure and plot. No, it's a not actual location. Maybe you'd like to repeat for the 5th time that boats don't go over not actual positions? Hello?
Hi.
Alan.
Tony, darling.
Gas pressure without a container.
Wait a second. He's got to plot the horizon. Don't let him red herring fallacy away. Share his screen. We want to see the horizon plotted.
Sorry, was that the, what's his name? The guy that would go bobbity.
Yeah. Fucking hell, what was his name?
Oh, he's so unimportant, it's not even worth remembering. That's crap rebuttal. Going,
well, John's an idiot, isn't he?
So that's an ad hominem attack. See, where he said we were ad hominem him when we gave a detailed description, and he gave an example of his retarded nature, his mental cognition being held back. He's just called John an idiot. That's not addressing the fact that he's claimed he can plot a not actual location. He's repeated boats not going over that not actual location about 4 times. But he's going to ad hominem and then project that we're doing the same to him when we're not. John, no, not an idiot. That doesn't address the question of you plotting a not actual location now, does it?
Can you take pictures of the horizon, Nathan?
That's a red herring fallacy. So this guy's full of fallacy today. Again, you're not addressing your claim that you can plot a not actual location.
In just yes or no, can you take a picture?
Share your screen, clown show, and support what you said.
Shut up, e-beggar.
That's another ad hominem attack. You're not addressing the fact that you've claimed you can plot a not actual location. You've repeated my statement several times. But you, using an R value that you've projected onto me and ad hominem attacks that you've also projected onto me, you aren't plotting out a not actual location so you can reify it into a sphere edge. You're just calling us idiots and e-beggars.
That's correct.
Well, that's not addressing the issue. That's fallacious reasoning, like ad hominem and red herring fallacies, as detailed. Are you just simply retarded in this instance as well as the last that we detailed with examples? Do you not know how to have a decent argument? Do you know only fallacious reasoning?
Answering just yes or no. Can you take a picture of the horizon?
I've already detailed that that's a red herring fallacy. More fallacious reasoning. Based on that fallacious reasoning, I've asked if you are, in this example like the last, also mentally held back, because you only seem capable of utilising fallacious reasoning. So I'll ask a third time, are you in this instance also mentally held back? Retarded.
Answering just yes or no.
What would you asking the red? Sorry, you're going to use the red herring fallacy I've detailed 3 times for a 4th time? It seems you are indeed mentally held back. You are indeed retarded because you aren't using an argument. You are using fallacy, Alan. Over.
Come on, Alan.
What's up, Tony? What's up?
Play fair.
I'm playing.
Share your screen, clown show. We want to see the horizon plotted like you claimed. We didn't forget about it.
John, you
so share your screen. You see those 3 dots up in the upper right-hand corner? It says share screen. Do it.
John, you don't decide anything.
Friggin' clown. Just like I said yesterday. Stand up and be counted, globetards. This is the epitome of your position. Alan B.
Hey, Nathan. And Nathan, can you read your last super chat? Because I think Alan helped QE get his computer.
Is that so? Okay, fair enough. I'll read out the last super chat and then hopefully ask the 1980 audience to stay tuned. So there's a couple of super chats actually. I'll read MC Universe Sacred Truthkeeper first, who says, space-time is nothing but a derivative 4th dimensional astral projection. Okay, thanks very much for the super chat, MC Universe Sacred Truthkeeper. Also, Sam Hine, who says, congratulations to QE for reaching his GoFundMe goal. Thanks to Alan for the huge donation. Ah, I take it all back, Alan. It seems you've donated very kindly to the GoFundMe for Quantum Eraser. So yeah, with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to all of today's debating panel, and Alan, who's a very good sport, it must be said, for making this live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the Nathan Oakley live stream audience for tuning in, smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. As I say, stay tuned if you are watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Can you go to a rainbow?
No.
All right, there we go. That's it.
There you go. You can't go to a rainbow. It's a bit like the horizon. It's not actually a location you can travel to. It'll move as you move towards it.
Yeah, as Zanuck said, you could. That was quite funny.
He's looking for that pot of gold.
Yeah, he was.
I just spent the pot of gold on the angry man.
That's ad hominem there, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, of course it is. John's doing it all the time, but you never pick him up.
No, that's ad hominem added to projection.
Oh man, keep off.
Oh man, I can't get away with any fallacy here. Man, I used to come and have so much fun. Yeah, we catch every fallacy now, Alan. It's not much fun for Globies.
You've been playing Rationality Rules game, haven't you?
What? Sorry, what was that game?
Rationality Rules. He's got a card game out.
I've never heard of Rationality Rules. Let me know the rules of Rationality Rules.
He's a famous YouTube debater.
Couldn't be more vague. Thank you. I'm glad for the detail.
What's the horizon, Al? Is it the leading edge?
It's just in front of the boats that ran.
Is it the leading edge of a ball?
Yes.
You sure?
No, it's not. It's not. It's an arbitrary position. It's where the sky appears. It's really key word, that appears, to meet the ground. The sky never meets the ground. It's not an actual position. It's not the edge of a sphere. Far from it. It moves as you move. It's a not actual location, Alan. I know they measure it and reify it and angular dip measurements from it and all that crap. Yeah, but it's not actual location. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Alan, what stops the atmosphere from bursting into space?
Pressure.
What's it pressing off?
Gravity, Tony. Gravity.
What's gravity, Alan?
Oh, let's not go there. You don't believe in
it. Come on. You can't just swerve these questions because you know that the answer is not favourable for you.
Secretly, do you know it's flat and stationary and space is fake, Alan? Really? Deep down, you know, don't you? Come on. You know it.
Do you really think space is fake?
Yeah.
You've just been asked about gas pressure, which
wait.
You know we're breathing gas pressure.
Answer the question.
Go on. Well, maybe Anthony will expand on it. You've just said, do you really think space is fake? And he's just asked you about gas pressure. So maybe he'll expand on that. Expand on it. Boom, boom.
Nathan, can I say something real quick? Actually, he said something that nobody caught, and I did. He basically told Anthony that he didn't believe in gravity. Now, how does Alan know that? It might be depending upon how you define gravity, that Anthony might actually believe in it. So again, how do you define gravity? Don't go past that.
Why do you want me to supply the answers for everything? All you do is build little gotchas, sit in an echo chamber.
Those little gotchas aren't little, and they're not gotchas.
They are.
No, it debunks your religion now.
Tony, look at what John said yesterday. Him versus millions of scientists. Who's right? John believes he is. Unbelievable. What arrogance.
So, what's the explanation for gravity then? Are we having a definition, or are we just going to it?
No, you were going to stop repeating what John does and explain to me why space is fake.
Because gravity is not a force. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum without some kind of containment. I mean, there's a load of reasons why space can't.
Okay, well, I'll let you have that. What are the 72 space agencies doing?
Stealing money off normal people for no good reason.
And why? Let's say they've been in existence for arguments.
You guys like to say fuck off.
Let's say they've been in existence for 50 years. Why have you guys never got a whistleblower?
That's not how this works, Alan. You're way too old to be this naive, man.
No, why is that? Where's your whistleblower? I'm interested.
Do you understand that they get vetted way before they're told what's going on, so they're part of the club? That's how this works. Yeah, so if you're not going to shut the hell up, you're not going to make it up to the part where you're going to be told that, hey, you're just making a doohickey over here. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, we'll just make the money. We take it. They always complain, oh, it's good. Why would they waste so much money? They're not wasting money. They're siphoning money from the future of our children and giving it to a fat cat corporation. That's how this works. They're not spending money. Oh, no, I got to spend money. Why would I spend money? No, they're stealing money. You understand. You're too old to be this stupid.
Where's your whistleblower? You didn't answer the question. Millions of people across 72.
Millions of people are not in on it. 130,000 people supposedly worked on the Manhattan Project, and nobody knew what the fuck they're working on. That's how that works. So you don't need millions of people. You only need maybe 1,000 at most.
So there's never been a disgruntled employee.
Yeah,
Alan, it's so interesting how Alan, you so nicely deflected from the evidence that the Globers lack into this conjecture.
I asked a question, Mr. Christian. None of you have answered the question.
No, what you did was you deflected from evidence base.
Tell me what I did.
I'm trying to tell you what you did because you did it. Instead of disproving QE's evidence or my evidence.
10th man. I'll tell you.
Listen up. No, don't rumpus me. Don't rumpus me. Don't rumpus me. Then leave the show. Don't rumpus me.
I'm not interested.
Then don't rumpus me.
I'm not interested.
Fine. Then don't rumpus me.
I'm not interested in anything.
You're not interesting at all because you
I'm
went
not
off
interested.
the topic.
I'm not
of
interested.
the horizon and the boats going over the curve.
I'm
You
not
said you have
interested
to
in
get-
anything John's got.
No,
to
because you can't prove it, and John's got the evidence.
John's
and
a
you can't
stupid
disprove it.
creationist.
So you know what yesterday's show and today's show proves to me is you hate God.
I hate.
You hate God because
It's funny how you guys are so not interested.
Everything I say or yesterday's show said, which I really can't get on, you kept saying that's Christian, that's Christian, that's Christian. You hate God.
God doesn't exist, so how can I hate him?
Then why are you saying I'm
How
a
does
Christian?
DNA code put into DNA?
Then why you say I'm a Christian?
It's not magic, Tony, and God didn't do it.
You need an explanation.
Go and ask a scientist.
I'm asking what you
Ask a
think
scientist.
that code got into DNA.
Go and ask a scientist. Go and
That's
just do a
Alan's
search.
God is a scientist in a lab
You're
coat.
complaining that you didn't get your question answered before. I asked this yesterday, and I don't remember the answer. How did the code get coded into the DNA?
I told you it evolved.
You tell me what?
It evolved through natural selection over millions of years.
How did it evolve in the first? How did it exist in the first place to evolve?
Yeah, what did it evolve from?
Single
Just
cell.
saying evolve doesn't
Single cell.
mean.
Single cell.
Where did that single cell come from then? What did that single cell evolve from?
Glue.
Or was it just here?
Nathan, can you share
amino acids.
Nathan, can you share Paul's screen so we know how QE's computer evolved?
I can measure the horizon.
No, this is
That's
share
actually
Paul's
pretty
screen.
funny.
Share Paul's screen so that Alan could see how a QE's computer evolved from a laptop to a tower.
You don't think that were me, do you?
The laptop evolved.
Yeah, it says retard Alan donated $200. I can measure the horizon because I'm special. Sounded like you. Is there any evidence it's not you?
Is there any evidence of you actually doing any science and not believing in your Bronze Age book of dogma?
What is the scientific method, Alan? Describe it.
There's many scientific methods.
Ha!
We are legion.
It's a legion.
No,
there are many scientific methods. They are legion.
Yes, there are. You just believe what you're told by John, by one person, because it makes
Yeah, because I never heard of scientific method before, John. Right?
No, you hadn't.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No, you
I
haven't.
didn't go to school, right? Yeah, of course.
Why
Just because you say so, it's right.
John, rather than attacking the point, which is that you guys preach.
Because you lot are all of a sudden pushing a creationist agenda.
No,
and
we're not.
It all comes from one person.
No, it's not got. It's got nothing to do with creation. It's got everything to do with
You're
pseudoscience.
you're all pushing a creationist agenda.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but I didn't think I came from nothing before I got here. Sorry. That's just stupidity.
Hey, Alan. Hang on a second. Sorry, but if we're pushing so-called a creation narrative, you're pushing an evolutionary narrative. So, was it pot calling the kettle black? Is that what we're saying here?
No, because only one of us is correct.
So can you give me one citation John used citing himself?
John used citing himself.
Yeah, because it seems like when John wants to prove something with evidence, he cites scientists, as you would put it, and
No, it doesn't.
studies.
No, it
so
doesn't.
show me the citations. Show me the citations that John used of himself, other than from credible sources.
He cherry picks.
Oh, now he
And you
cherry
just
picks. He owns
believe
an
it.
orchard. He owns an orchard, and he goes cherry picking now. I get it. Okay.
He cherry picks, and
You
believe
just dance all away from your
you
position.
just-
Alan, do you know the science that John used to prove the creator?
There is
You know
no
what
science
science
to
he
prove
used?
the creator.
Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't.
There is.
Okay.
No,
Something
there isn't.
it's programmed somewhat in a way that.
No, there
allows-
isn't. That's not science. That's just a stupid opinion that you hold.
Yeah, but we can prove that information, the passage of information, requires intelligent design. It doesn't.
No,
pass
it
on
doesn't.
itself. Yeah, it does. You can get a load of building blocks. We'll call them DNA.
No,
and
it
you can
doesn't.
put them on the ground.
There's
No, it
four.
doesn't.
No, he
this
says
is not going to go anywhere because this guy thinks that shit things can just come from nothing.
Nuh-uh, is his argument.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh is his
basically.
argument. All he has to do is go to the info box, go down to creator versus atheism. There are 4 scientific evidences for a creator. Pull it up and look at it.
All of them incorrect.
Yeah, nuh-uh and incorrect. Little retard hand wave dismissal by a moron.
Seems to be a hand wave dismissal.
All of them incorrect.
Seems to be a hand wave dismissal, Al. Have you got any evidence for why they're incorrect?
Well, what am I looking at?
Oh, so you didn't even know what you're looking at?
I don't need to look at it.
Exactly why I asked the question.
Everything
Thank you.
John posts is
Thank you very much for proving my point, Alan.
utter gibberish.
So this is the question.
But what's
for
gibberish? You don't even know what we're
people-
talking about. What's gibberish?
If it's from John, it will be.
No.
So why don't
This is
so why don't you
about-
pull it up? Why don't you pull it up and destroy it right here, right now?
Pull what up?
I don't know, whatever you think
Where's
is
the link?
gibberish.
Where's the
Because
link?
apparently you don't
For
even
what?
know, but you just know that it's gibberish.
For what? To support your claim.
What am I
Alan,
supposed
which
to
you
look
have a
at?
hard time doing. We're still waiting for your screen share for you plotting the horizon. We're still waiting for that claim.
You don't
But this
decide.
is the second claim that you made.
You
So
don't-
go ahead and debunk those 4 scientific evidences for us right now. Share your screen.
Where's the
Share your screen.
Where's the link, buffoon?
I told you it's in the info box below. Scroll down in the info box of this video. It has the creator versus atheism.
Oh, I'm not watching one of your stupid.
Yeah, you're not going to watch it. I thought you already did watch it.
Who wants
Hey, Alan.
to watch your videos? Christ.
Clown.
So when did you all
Alan, you also have faith. Alan, you also have faith, right? Because science requires faith. You know the Max Planck quote, right? Quote me Max Planck, please.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Over the entrance.
You're breaking up
Over the entrance of the gate.
No, you're breaking up a little bit, yeah.
Alright.
Kind of bad.
You quoting Bible at me?
Bluetooth.
No, he was trying to quote Max Planck.
I'll help him out. Over the
Max
gate to
Planck.
the entrance of science reads the words, ye must have faith. Every scientist must have faith. You're done again because you're a clown.
Did Noah live to be 600, John? John?
And, Paul has Heisenberg's
Did Noah live to be 600?
Is gravity a force, Alan?
Did Noah live to be 600?
Is gravity a force, Alan?
600. What are you talking about?
There you go, deflecting again. Come on, Alan.
Yeah.
Answer the question. You answer it, 10th man. You're
Well,
a
you
Bible
haven't
boy.
even answered the first question you
No,
brought
you
up.
answer my question. I told you.
No,
you
you
don't.
haven't answered my question.
Answer
When
my
you answer
question.
mine, I'll answer yours. How's that?
Alan
Answer
B
mine.
doesn't answer questions. You know that.
Alan, you just deflect. Yeah, I think you have a personal war. I think you have a personal war against a God you don't want to exist.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what I think it is.
How did
That's all.
one? How did one man build a boat big enough for all the?
Look at you. It was. Look at you. Just trying to draw us in.
Answer. Answer.
The answer is in the
That's
scripture.
not
Don't
a
read it.
picture.
We don't all believe that.
Anyway,
Don't
I'm
read
going,
it. It
guys.
wasn't one man.
I'll see you later. I'm gonna go to the conference.
Yeah, see you in
All
Amsterdam.
right. See you, Arvin.
All right, Arwen.
Have a
I
good
hope
one.
to see you there.
Arwen, enjoy yourself, man. Be easy.
Well, I am gonna. Well, this is my
Breathe.
attitude. I'm gonna be
Breathe
there. I'm gonna
and
enjoy
please
it.
eat.
Yeah. I've already eaten
All
something
right, good.
at least,
I'm glad.
and I got a lot of fruit with me, so
Good,
that
good.
should be digestible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go
Make
there.
it
I'm
back
gonna
home
be
safely.
chill. I'm gonna be chill, and I'm mostly gonna be hanging. And please don't try to push me around and do something.
Have a good time, Owen.
Yeah, man. Enjoy
Nathan,
yourself.
can you share Paul's screen so we could hear from a real scientist?
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
I
Arwen.
also hope to bring back some pictures with that P900.
Hang in there,
Better.
Arwen. Take it easy, man. Have fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
man.
John. Thank you.
Right. Okay, Paul, you presented.
Oh,
No, this
by
is
the way,
10th man. I'm just sharing it for you.
before you go, Nathan, are you already at the conference?
Obviously not. I'm sat in my sofa making a show.
Oh, all right. So you're gonna come tomorrow or something? Then?
I'm going to come later today.
Later today.
Yeah, for those of you watching
All right.
yesterday.
Just so I know.
Okay. Yeah,
All
very
right, see you
confusing
later.
on a recorded show that goes out on Sunday. But yes, I'll be there yesterday.
So, Alan, why would a German scientist, Nobel Prize winner Werner Karl Heisenberg say the first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you? What do you think he meant by that?
What do you think?
I'm asking you a question, you little coward, you mealy-mouthed lizard. Talk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man,
Point out that
such a fence sitter. I got better thing. I'd rather go talk to a worm.
Do you kiss Jesus with that mouth?
Oh my gosh.
At
Listen
home.
to you. Listen to you.
At home.
Can you answer the question, or are you going to play
What's the question?
weasel?
What's the question?
How many of them have you been asked?
What's the question?
Question was your interpretation on the quote that he just read to you, Alan. Pay attention.
Obviously a clever man, but quite deluded.
And why is he deluded?
Because he believes God lives in the bottom of a glass.
Oh, is that what you think he meant?
Hold on. Hold
I
on.
think-
He's got,
I
hold
think-
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. He's got a fair crack there, right?
I can't.
Hold on. If you take out, hold on. If you take out the inference of analogy, he has got a fair older point there, hasn't he? Because he's literally saying that a bottom of a glass is a god, which is kind of absurd if you take it in the context he spun it into.
Thank you.
Doesn't God claim to be omnipotent though?
Important.
No,
Omnipotent.
What you were going for is omnipresent. What he was going for was omnipresent. Well, listen, this is just a metaphor. Everyone knows what he's talking about. Do you want me to translate it for you?
Sorry.
Everyone except Alan.
What's this word? Metaphor?
Yeah, it's a metaphor. He's using a metaphor for a lesson here.
Unless Alan thinks he really had a glass of natural science.
I was
Thought you were a writer, Alan. Didn't you say you were a writer? You don't know a metaphor?
Next time I go to the pub, I want me a pale glass of natural science, please. IPA, please.
No foam.
What a brilliant echo chamber.
Oh, nice one, chocolate.
Hey, Alan, let me ask Alan a question.
And then before you do, can we assume that?
Alan,
Hold on, Paul. So we can assume that you understand what a metaphor is, then, Alan, right?
It's a figure of speech with a rhetorical effect. Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you understand that this was a metaphor, right?
It was a joke. Christ, tough audience.
Okay, so joke is over. We all had our laugh. No foam. So now, can you tell us your interpretation of this quote?
Exactly the same.
You mean his interpretation of a metaphor?
Not answering the question.
His real name.
Of course not.
Answer the question, Alan. Come on, stop projecting that other people don't answer your questions, and then you do the exact thing that you criticize others of.
No, he answered the question. He
has answered it.
He said that
Hold
Heisenberg
on.
was deluded.
This is totally unfair. He has answered it. He said the guy's deluded, and then his reasoning was picked apart as being comedy, and he hasn't expanded on his reason, but he did give his opinion on it.
Thank you, Nathan.
I don't think that is an acceptable answer.
Well, we don't care what you find acceptable. That, Tony, my dear boy, is my answer.
He's calling this guy deluded when he believes that something can come from nothing, and ink, paper, and glue molecules can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints. He is the epitome of a clinical level Dunning-Kruger ICD-10 F72 code. May I present to you Alan B.
Big John, the meme repeater.
Big John.
Let me ask.
Go on, Paul.
Let me ask Alan a question.
Go.
You say there's no evidence for God, correct?
Nope. Correct.
Okay. What evidence would you require for God's existence?
Interesting question.
Perhaps the code for DNA being created by something.
Tony, don't start on that.
Well, it's an interesting question. You haven't answered it.
I have answered it. You won't accept it. Please move on.
No.
Don't. Anthony, you just sidestepped him. Stop. Anthony, stop. I said, I asked him a specific question. He said there's no evidence, so which means he doesn't think the DNA code is evidence. You don't think information coding is any kind of evidence. So he rejects that. So I'm asking him, what evidence would he require? So you can argue that to him all day long. He rejects that out of hand. So even while asking him where things came from, he doesn't know. I can provide evidence, but he's going to reject it out of hand. So my question
hold on. Yeah, hold on.
What evidence
Hold
would
on,
you
Paul.
require?
Don't assume what he's going to do. You've led him enough. Any response, Alan?
Have we all finished talking?
I've cleared the airwaves for you. I've stopped him from making an assumption about what you think. What more do you want?
Brilliant, Nathan. You're being quite nice.
And your answer is?
What evidence would I need for God?
Would you accept?
Stop, let him go.
What evidence would be enough? That's a good question. So, what evidence would be enough? Just the one God. Your God, I presume.
Just any God. Just the creator.
Right, okay.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm not even...
Paul, do you want to clarify for him?
I didn't say my God.
I'm okay
I said a creator. Oh, not my God, a creator. An intelligent agent that created the world. What would you require for evidence of that?
I would require him to send his son around and for a cream tea.
That's good.
Hold on, let me just translate that. I know it's done with humour. You'd require a physical human-based entity to meet you and do something like have a cream tea interaction of some kind with you. That would...
Yes.
Okay,
and
fine.
Somebody that could do miracles at free will that I could witness.
Oh, so not
Like
just
David
cream...
Blaine?
Hold on. So there's more. So not just cream tea, you'd also want him to turn that tea into an elephant or something.
No, I'd probably go for a cure for cancer, cure for AIDS.
Oh, I can cure AIDS. You just have to smash the super chat.
Yes.
There is no AIDS.
There's no AIDS?
Let's not get onto how fake AIDS is. Let's stick with what Paul's talking about. You've got your answer. He'd need a physical, human-based, because he said entity to come sit down with him, drink tea, and then do a miracle. That's what I'd need, Paul.
Yes.
So basically, if David Blaine tells him that he's the son of God and he basically does one of his fancy tricks, he's sold.
I'd be taking sweet baby Jesus to a cancer ward, and I'd be requiring hard evidence that he can cure.
Okay, thank you.
Why is the coding of DNA not suitable
now, hold on. Don't make matters worse,
up.
Sleeping Warrior. Just let Paul get his next
Is that good enough, Paul? Is that the kind of thing you were looking for?
Honestly, I got rumpus by Anon, got rumpus by Anthony. Can you restate it?
I would require God to send his one and only son to visit me. We would have a cream tea, and then we would go to a hospital where he would perform miracles like curing cancer, curing AIDS, wiping out brain tumours, where I could physically see the evidence of the cure. Seem reasonable?
No.
Hold on.
No?
Hold on.
Well, wait a
Don't
minute.
sidetrack him.
Wait a
Go on,
minute.
Paul.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be enough evidence.
I would honestly, I could say that could potentially happen, Alan, but I would automatically assume that you would even question anything of that occurring.
No.
For one, if a human being showed up, well, here's the reason. Anon was actually making a good point. How do you know that maybe the documentation wasn't fabricated? How do you know that that it wasn't really there? I'm serious. I'm telling you the example.
Yes.
Like you say, guy's got a brain tumor. How do you know that that image was not faked? How would you know that?
The extremes that you guys go to, unbelievable.
No. Let me just summarise his point.
No,
Hold on. I want to keep this on track. His point is that were a gentleman to present himself to you, Alan, have his cream tea, go to the hospital, and show you a man go in with a scan that showed he had a brain tumour, and then the doctors in front of you scanned him and showed that he didn't have a tumour, you, according to Paul, would say it's just a magic trick. He didn't have a tumour to begin with. The original scans were fake, etc., etc.
See, the trick there was Paul saying something that I didn't infer, and nor did I say.
You have to fill me in. I don't understand.
Well, but
hold on, Paul. Go ahead. What's he done? What's he inferred?
He's inferred that I said it would be a trick. I didn't infer that.
No, no, I appreciate that. He's saying your response were that to happen, what you laid down or stipulated.
I'd be amazed. I'd believe in God on the spot.
No, you wouldn't. You'd deny it.
No, but see, Tony, anything I say is wrong. So what's the point in asking?
Lying.
What's the point in asking Uncle Alan?
You wouldn't believe in God if you come off a cloud and fucking hit you in the face, Alan. You're a fucking denier.
No swearing. No need.
Well, Tony, why are you getting angry with me? We're friends.
You're a fucking liar.
My question is, why doesn't Alan ask for the same
smacked you in the
evidence
face.
for evolution? Why doesn't Alan ask for that transitionary form that no one's found after billions of years? Where is it, Alan? Why do you believe in evolution?
Hold on, 10th man.
Wait a second. You said evolution? What's that?
Hold on, everyone. Hold on. I'm sure Paul was going somewhere. Go ahead, Paul. Or maybe it wasn't.
My point is, I mean, there's evidence. No, I'm going. If you'll hang on.
Cool.
My point is, I think you already have a bias, and it's evident in your conversation. Like we've talked about in this whole yesterday. Hang on. Even yesterday, I gave you the illustration of a dead body in the room, you know, and I said, from what I gathered from your perspective, the only possible means by which that body could be dead in the room is natural causes. We all of us here so far have given you ample evidence that potentially say that there's a designer that could potentially be designing this system that we live in. You reject that out of hand. Okay. Now, I think I would say even your analogy, because everything you're describing does represent someone that did something like that in the past. You reject that out of hand. So I would guess, even if that thing was to occur, just from my interaction with you over the last couple of days, you would reject that evidence as well.
Of course
you say you wouldn't, but I believe you would.
I don't present that as evidence. What you're doing is just storytelling of what I would actually do.
I agree with him, though. I think you would
I
deny
don't care whether you agree with him or not, Tom.
It would be a false statement of fact that you claim you would believe.
How can you know that? You mystic man.
You are demonstrating you're lying right now.
No, Tony, you're just angry for some reason.
God got off a fucking cloud, Alan, and punched you in the face. You would deny it was God. You would.
What a terrible analogy.
It's fucking true. You're a dishonest sack of shit, Al.
Why? Why?
Well, wait a minute, Anthony. Wait a minute. Don't. You can calm down, Anthony. Let me talk to Alan. If you are truly open to the evidence of God's existence, then you would consider the evidence laid before you. If you dismiss it out of hand, then you're not truly open to any evidence of God's existence.
Nathan, help me out. Have I dismissed anything?
Well, you've laid down your own parameters, and well, hold on, let me answer. It would seem, I'm not going to say yes, but it would seem that by your own standards that you would deny it, because that's basically all you've done since you've been here.
So I take sweet baby Jesus to a terminally ill ward. He cures everybody on it. We look at the X-rays before and after, and you're saying at that point you believe I would deny it when confronted with all the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because they did it already when he came the first time.
Even when something's overtly obvious, you'll still deny. So, for example, well, I'll give you an example. You know, you detailed a reified edge of a sphere model, the horizon, and even when we pointed out that it was a not actual position, you repeated that 4 times with an upward inflection, as though to question something absurd and obvious, and having had it explained to you. So, in the face of something overtly obvious, you still question and deny.
Wow.
Well, that's just by example. That's what you've done on this show. So you're saying, well, no, if something was overtly obvious, I couldn't deny. Well, what, like the plotting of a non-actual position that you, have conceded? No, you never conceded that, did you? That's why I'm saying it seems that's what you do. Yeah? Based on examples that we've had today.
No, but I'm talking about one example. I gave you the example. I gave you the parameters. I gave you the evidence. And now you're having to refer back to an earlier conversation that has nothing to do with the conversation I've just had with Paul.
No, it does. It does. Because in that I'll explain why. In that example, there's a conclusion, something that's demonstrable in terms of the explanation given, where you cannot deny your position being incorrect, but you do. Now, in this example, you obviously got the polar opposite in terms you're saying, well, this demonstrates it to be correct. But it just seems, I'm not going to say for certain, that you would just deny that. That's just how it seems.
I'd be amazed.
You'd deny it.
I'd be amazed.
You'd deny it. You wouldn't believe it.
I'd be amazed.
Yeah, amazed is not belief.
I would be amazed if it happened. It never would, of course.
Well, let me ask him another question.
Go ahead.
I might not be able to produce the actual Son of God physically.
Okay.
But what if I could go through and show you documentation that people were healed by a supernatural agent, that no natural cause or natural means could cause that? Would that open the door for you to potentially think that there might be a God causing the miracle?
I'd need to see the evidence in the cases.
Like the horizon, apparent, not actual.
Stop switching out of the conversation to something.
Well, you're the one who never answered the first question.
Well, we're having a conversation now.
Because you'd like to deflect.
Hold on, Paul made a good point. So what if it was somebody else that came in like the name of Jesus and he did these miracles you seek? Would that satisfy you?
Whether it was sweet baby Jesus or someone else, it wouldn't matter.
There's actually a book out, and I'd have to find it and get the name of it. It's been a while since I read it. And it's a guy that was doing his scholarly work. And the book is called The Case for Miracles. And he goes through and documents, and talk to doctors, eyewitnesses, and shows and documents cases of miracles. Would you accept the documentation in that regard?
I'm not aware of the work.
He's already answered that. He wants to witness this firsthand.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Let's go back to the horizon.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Something demonstrably showing that you had an incorrect idea.
Conversation. Why do you want to be going back?
because you shake that one off like leprosy when it first got hot. So let's go back to it till you answer it. How's that? Because you haven't answered it.
I don't have to answer anything I've said. You don't decide.
Of course, yeah. No, of course you don't have to.
Hold on. By comparison, should you not be amazed in the revelation that the arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground isn't actually the mathematical edge they calculate to give them their dip to calculate an R from? Aren't you amazed?
Can I ask Paul a question?
Aren't you amazed?
There he goes.
You're not amazed? See, it seems like you wouldn't be amazed at the thing we detailed only moments earlier, but here we are with you and a total lack of amazement at this revelation.
He's a fence sitter.
He's a denier. He's a dishonest denier. That's what he is.
No, why are you so angry today, Tony? Bad day?
Because
I'm describing you.
I want you to answer. What's the explanation for how the code gets coded? And I don't know isn't a good enough answer if you believe in science and you dismiss the possibility that something somehow has done it. You can't just say I don't know and expect me to accept that if you're going to then preach evolution shit. So that's why I'm pissed off of you.
Wow. Okay. Paul.
So still no answer. See, you're a cunt, Al. Answer the fucking question, will you?
Come on, no need. Come on.
No, it's not. Answer the fucking question. Where does the fucking code come from, Al?
Keep it broadcastable, please.
No. Answer the question.
No.
Right, well, fuck off then.
No.
Get out, Al. Piss off. Just leave.
Just show
No,
transitional.
You won't answer my question that I've asked over and over again and give a plausible explanation. Get out. Just leave.
Transitional fossil has nothing to do with this discussion. That doesn't mean anything. Answer the damn question like Anthony said.
Told you, John, you don't decide.
Come into existence.
You don't decide.
He's a fool. You're just a fool, Alan.
Dishonest, Alan. You can't hold two positions. You can't say I don't know and then push evolution.
I say I don't know.
Yeah, you did say you don't know, but you do push evolution.
Tony, out of interest, do you expect me to be an expert on everything?
No, but I expect you to be neutral. If you're going to say I don't know for DNA, then you can't push evolution as true.
I think what's closer to the truth, Tony, is you expect me to agree with you.
We expect you to support your claims.
Yeah.
Now get on with it. Start chopping wood.
Be neutral if you can't. Don't push evolution if you can't accept that DNA code comes from somewhere.
I told you.
You told
Well,
me
how
what?
about this? That means you just have faith in that, right?
No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I don't understand how you can hold both positions, Al.
Alan, you realize you do have
moron,
faith
that's why.
in evolution, right?
Yeah, fuck off, Alan. Bye.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Good riddance as well.
He's a troll. He doesn't even use his own name.
And can I just say, for the benefit of everybody, I don't necessarily think that there is a God. I just realize there is a creator of some kind that may or may not be God, just in case anyone was wondering.
There must be a creator.
He is
right there with you.
There must be a creator, I agree.
He is God.
He sidestepped Nathan's horizon immediately, and when asked to go back, he sidestepped going back, and he has nothing. He's empty.
He's no different from
My
anyone. He's no
Need your
different from
creator.
any other atheist globetard. There is no difference. I present to you Alan. He is the poster child.
Yeah, he is.
That's all you're going to get from these clowns.
I want to address something.
On my back.
Well, he got your
I wanna
computer
address-
for you.
Go on, Paul. I would like you to summarise because you had the most time with him.
Well, I want to address something Anthony said first of all, because he said you believe in a creator but not God.
No, I didn't say that.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't say that. What
Oh.
I said was I don't necessarily
say?
believe in the God, but I do believe that there must be a creator. But the reason why I'm hesitant is because I don't like picking a team. That is what you kind of do when you go with the religious argument. I don't want to be religious.
It's not religion. It's not
No,
religion.
I'm
You're not
having a
picking a team.
I'm not having a
religion. Sorry to interrupt
Well,
you. It's not religion. Oh my God. Define religion
Well,
for me.
the thing that
Oh, go ahead, Paul. For fuck's sake.
you're the one interrupted, John. I was talking to Anthony, not you. So don't get pissed off when you're the one interrupting. By the way, okay.
That's his MO.
The God. Holy crap!
For God's sake.
Okay.
Just Paul, please.
When you God by its very nature is creator. So when you say creator, you have to they're almost virtually synonyms. So you can't kind of separate the two. You have a problem right off the gate. So because any supreme being that's greater than yourself could be considered a god. Now, obviously, in my worldview, there is a supreme being that created all of existence, which transcends all other beings, which would be God or the creator. So don't shy away from it, Anthony. That's basically what I want to say to that. And also,
you're ruling out the possibility that we could be some kind of intelligent design project on a petri dish in a lab somewhere. And I'm not saying that that's logical or reasonable, but it is possible.
Fine. Now that's out of the way.
What
QE, you wanted to get a word in regards to religion. The airwaves are now clear. Go right ahead.
who, me or Anthony?
Oh my God.
QE.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Anthony said he didn't want to get involved in the religious side of it. Please tell us, what is the religious side of that?
The one that causes all the trouble.
God is not religious. There is no side here. There either is a creator or there is not. There's no religion. Religion has nothing to do with this.
So the Jesus God and the Muhammad God are the same guy?
The Jesus God and the Muhammad God.
Yeah, they're the same guy. I mean, John seems to think that they're the same people.
What are you talking about?
If they're the same.
No, that's not what he's saying.
It's a prophet. What are you talking about? This is nonsense.
No,
whatever. The God and the Muslims.
Christianity is a religion the same way that the other one is religion.
Hold on. I think what's happened quite beautifully is a non has actually, by example, detailed the religion that Anthony's referring to. The religion that causes people like Anon to say, well, this God's the same as that God, or whatever. That's the religion he means, QE. Can we continue?
Why continue with him? I mean, we've continued on a number of discussions of this topic, and they all end the same way. Don't rumpus me. Don't rumpus me, clown. We've all gone down this road multiple times. I'm not going down it again. Religion is belief without evidence. I have evidence. If you want to debunk it, go to the info box below, and we can have a discussion. Thanks.
Anthony, I get exactly what you're saying. And
We're not trying to debunk the fact that there's a creator. He's asking specifically about Christianity as a religion. That's
yeah, John likes to play obtuse.
I want to address the Muslim and Christian God are the same. If you press, and honestly, I think 10th Man can address this more because I think he comes from a Muslim background. But the God of Islam and the God of Christianity are very different. Now, they may have certain attributes that are similar, but there's some key points that makes them very different. So when you say Christianity has the same God as Muslim, that's not true. You got to get into the specifics, just like everything else.
I never said that.
Devil's in the details.
I never said that. What I was saying is I was trying to clarify Anthony's point of view, because John likes to play obtuse when the question comes to religion and the creator, because they're completely different things.
What's obtuseness? You charge me with being obtuse. Be specific.
Shut up. You know exactly what that means. And if you don't know, it means you're willfully playing stupid. Means you're willfully playing stupid.
Be specific.
It's the third time I'm going to say it. You're willfully.
No, you're not going to say it. I'm not going to allow you to say it. Support your claim.
I'm not going to allow you to say it.
Support your claim of obtuse. Why don't you get within 3 degrees of complete ambiguity and support your claim, sir?
Obtuse means you're willfully playing ignorant. And when you say,
the definition of obtuse, I asked for an example of me being obtuse.
When you talk about religion, I'm trying to, you dipshit. Shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Keep it broadcastable, please.
Jesus Christ.
No blasphemy.
That's why people don't like you, John, because you're an idiot. You always, every time religion comes up, you're like, religion is...
Anon, just give him an example of him being obtuse. You started. Go ahead.
Okay, when we talk about religion, and he says religion is not this is not what religion is. Not God. That's what he's saying. So when it comes to
Is that your argument?
I don't understand.
Is that it?
You just pretty much parroted what he said as your argument. Is that right?
No. Anthony, when he asked him, he doesn't want to get involved with the religion part. John gets in and says religion has nothing to do with this. Well, meanwhile, it has everything to do with this because that's what Anthony's point is that he doesn't want to join any team. He doesn't want to wear a logo. He doesn't want to wear a cross or a crescent. What he
That's not
wants
me being
is
obtuse,
to be
Ron.
with
You
God.
just repeated the same thing. That's not me being obtuse.
Yeah, it is. I think
No,
you
it's
tell people to go watch some dumb video you made.
What does obtuse mean?
Willfully playing ignorant.
No.
And how am I playing
Hold
ignorant,
on,
please?
Anand's point, and I would like to hear this because I've wanted to hear this for a while. The point is, when you speak of God and the Creator, we can get with that. I love your explanation of the quantum, the double slit experiment. Also, how do you equivocate that with the Bible? Because I think that's what we're trying to get.
How do I equivocate that? How did I equivocate it?
Well, everybody can see it.
I can talk.
Because every time someone contests the Bible specifically, you say it's not a religion. You have evidence, but then you switch the conversation to your science versus scientism, which is about the Creator, which we do agree with. The part that we don't agree with is how you can attach the Bible to that. I'm not saying. I just want to hear you have the argument because it's always
how I attach the Bible to what?
This is you playing obtuse. Everybody gets it.
Anon, no need.
Right.
Anon. I can play mediator and just paraphrase what he's saying. He's saying that in the science versus scientism presentations in regards to the Creator specifically, it doesn't necessarily lend itself to Christianity or the Bible. He's asking how that connection is drawn. Simple.
Yes, I can, and I've explained it a number of times. It definitely establishes not only quantum mechanics, but the three other proofs, and I could put about 10 other ones in there. It establishes a creator. That's point one. Now we know that there is a creator. So point two is, who is it? And if you go to the end of that creator versus atheism presentation, I walk you step by step through it. So you are the ignorant one. Willful ignorant. Thanks.
So he didn't answer, as we expect.
It is
his quantum Jesus does not suffice for us. Okay, you might believe it.
Pull up that video. We can pull up the video, Nathan, and play it right at the end. You want me to get a timestamp?
I don't mind. I'll play it if you want to.
Hold on a second. Let me go find it.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
No, you realize he doesn't establish the existence of a creator with the Bible, right?
Yes, I definitely understand that. I don't think that's
like the Bible. As far as I know, he doesn't use the Bible as the proof for the existence of God.
No, he's going to use historical documentation.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me he doesn't use the Bible in reference to the existence of it. Now, like he said, who is it? That's a different story altogether. But
well, he apparently knows.
The existence of itself.
He knows. He has proof.
That's why I was.
Yeah, but we're talking about two different things. That's the only thing I'm trying to establish right now. The existence of a creator and who the creator is are two different subjects, I think.
Correct. And I'm with John for the first part, sort of. Okay. But the second part, that's where he goes crazy.
Okay. All right. Just want to clear that up.
Yep. 1A, we're good. 1B,
So pretty much, if I gather Anon
I'd like to
correctly,
point out that I
he
usually
would.
look for Anon to be on the show, and he's nowhere to be found until this comes up. I'm like, where the hell?
Hell yeah, baby.
Can I just ask, is this the Anon that gets really upset when it wasn't, was it Anon? Oh no, it was
There's only one Anon Moto, and I'm Anon Moto. I've been here like 6 months. Come on, Anthony. We had chats, just you and I, for like 4 hours or half an hour.
Wait,
I was
could
mixing
Anon just concede to a creator?
Used to get really offended if we asked what came first, the chicken or the egg, and he'd say it could have just always existed.
That
Yeah,
that was Earth Flattener.
That was Earth Flattener, but I do that is one of my yeah. We had that talk, Anthony. We spoke for like half an hour, just you and I, about the chicken and egg thing, and could it have possibly always been here? And you disagreed, and we had a good laugh, and we didn't yell at each other. Everything was great, and I disagree with you respectfully. That I still have I reserve the idea that maybe things have always been here as they always are. It just is. It's just always been there.
So you've obviously got the same argument as Earth Flattener, right?
No, I got that. I heard that from Earth Flattener, and before Flattener, I'd never, thought of I'd never entertained the idea of things always being here and not being in a linear fashion and being in some sort of a loop. And then you have a child and you see the loop and you see the fractal nature of life, and then you go, shit, maybe it's always been here and it always will be here.
Law of thermodynamics violation, like
I'm
we
not
told you 30 times before. You don't listen. We've already explained this to you 30 different times. You've already been exposed. Nathan, timestamp that.
Hold on.
Shut up.
Hold on.
Timestamp that shit. Let's hear this quantum Jesus leap.
We've only got a few minutes left, so go ahead.
I timestamped it, put it in the chat.
Can you just tell me the number? I've got the video up.
It is 45:41.
How many minutes, roughly? Know how long the explanation lasts?
I don't. A couple minutes. Hold on a second. Looks like about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's a pretty outstanding statement from Werner Heisenberg right here, folks. Let that marinate. A couple other things. Let's just clear a couple what I like to call background noise, and then we'll finish up here. So we all heard this, right? Who created the creator's creator's creator? That conundrum. This is a fallacy, folks. He is the creator. The creator can't be created, or else he couldn't be the creator. By simple definition. Furthermore, logically, for finite things to exist, that is the universe and us, there must be an eternal, always was source. It's a contingent necessity, antecedent fact. See Aristotle, prime unmoved mover, first cause. To deny this, you are forced into a logical checkmate, then reduced to introducing an infinite regress fallacy. That's what this is. Nothing can create itself because that would mean it existed prior to its existence. That's logical seppuku. Also, there can only be one creator. Considering more than one, even for a Planck time, is logical seppuku. As for the philosophical naturalist or realist or atheist, they believe that the universe created them, right? Well, I always challenge them. I turn it on them and say, who created your creator? I don't like that very much. So, after all this, we finally realize, you can't get out of it. There must be a creator. So, the next logical follow-on question is what? Well, who is it? This is a systematic method to find that out. This is a personal method. I use this myself. It's quite simple. Since we know from the laws of thermodynamics and quantum mechanics that whoever it is, the creator must be outside of what we call the universe. So, make a list of every single purported deity and their respective claims on how they and the universe came to be. Next, you cross off the ones that are a product of the universe or claim that the universe has existed forever, right? Why? They're pretender clowns, because we already know what. Well, the universe can't have existed forever. We know there must have been an absolute beginning a finite time ago. We already know this. After you do that, there's only one left standing. He's the Alpha and the Omega, Jesus Christ. The largest escrow closing in the history of the universe is at the door, folks. Where do you stand? All glory to him.
And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!